This is your girl Yannick Taylor, aka Priestess, hostess of Conversations with the Priestess. Here's a preview of what you may hear on Conversations with the Priestess.
We weren't meant for monogamy, let's be honest. Like, we have needs, let's be real. And communicating that, what you want, what you don't want, what sets up. Now this drink is brown, because I learned something. Since I'm older, I can't do brown liquor anymore. Also, I noticed since I started on hormone replacement therapy, HRT, in 2015, me and certain liquors don't match well. I don't know whether...
And I recognize that a lot of men love to be dominated by women. And that's because men are seen as these leaders, as this big alpha male dominant being. And because they're put on this pedestal of being leaders, sometimes they want to be submissive. Back when I cosplayed a Butch Queen in South Carolina around 2011, I was on Craigslist. This is when Craigslist was bumping and before they had gotten rid of the personal section. I hope you enjoyed that preview. Join me on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. for Priestess After Dark. Full video versions of the podcast can be found on patreon.com/CWT Priestess, and join me on Fridays at noon for our regular Friday post. Live, love, and be free. Smooches.
Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anywhere you download and stream podcasts.
What's going on, everybody? This is your girl, Yannick Taylor, the Priestess, never your motherfucking mistress. Thank you for tuning in to this very special episode of Conversations with the Priestess. A little bit of housekeeping. There is a Facebook page and a Facebook group that is now available where we will discuss the week's episode, various topics throughout the week. And this is to help the podcast grow, not only grow, but for you all to network and connect with each other. I do ask that you all be very respectful. I do have some great things coming to Patreon and some other things, but I need your help. How can you help? Please leave a 5-star review on whatever platform that you're listening to this, particularly Apple Podcasts. That helps us to grow as a podcast. And please, 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 share it and hit that follow button. Let's go ahead and tune into this very special episode of Conversations with the Priestess. Love, love, and be free. Smooches. It's that time again. It's time for another edition of Conversations with the Priestess. Grab your herbal remedy, grab your libations. Let's sit back and relax and have a good old-fashioned conversation. The music that you hear is by Infazal Productions, Just the Way You Are, and myself on the vocals.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Yeah, you're beautiful. So beautiful.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your girl, the Priestess, never your mistress. I'm Yannick Taylor. Welcome back to another installment of Conversations with the Priestess. This episode is dealing with the major issue that I've seen in the media between transgender model Shauna Brooks, rapper, producer, TV personality Benzino. And I'm sure many of you've heard through various outlets and things like that about her. Some say outing, some say revealing relationship. Her basically she's on social media and she's on the phone with Benzino and they're talking about their relationship. And I saw news of this earlier in the week, and with so much going on, I finally sat down and looked at it. So if you're familiar with Shauna Brooks, she's a model, actress, hip-hop icon, and there has been some things that may have tied her to outing some people and things like that. However, with this instance, I do not believe that it's an outing of anyone being trans attracted or trans amorous, and I'm going to get into my reasons why. However, with Benzino, we know also he has a history of being an asshole towards women, being toxic as fuck, and we've seen the stuff he did on Love and Hip Hop, and even how recently he assaulted, or him and his wife had a domestic situation, assault situation, and you know, it's all over the place, and we've heard some of the stupid things he's been accused of. And recently it's been revealed that there was a relationship between he and Shauna. And Shauna in this clip that I saw on social media, she was like, she's tired of being a secret. She's tired of hiding. And classic to the play that men do with trans women, he was like, I'm a 55-year-old man. They're going to look at me like I'm crazy. You're beautiful. When you go out, people see a beautiful woman, stuff like that. But he's like, I don't want it to be out like that, because that's going to make me look crazy. And I'm listening to this, and me personally, I feel like it's gaslighting. However, looking at this, and in my experiences, this is something that commonly happens with women of trans experience, to where a guy will date us but won't be out because of the stigma and things like that. Because of the stigma, his own insecurity, and what society may say. So with this whole situation, I actually applaud her for talking about it. Again, I don't look at this as outing someone, but this is telling of a traumatic experience in a way, because he fell in love with her or made her feel loved, validated her womanhood, no doubt, said and did all of the right things. But when it comes to being open about who you are, you being trans attracted, you being amorous with this trans woman, it's a problem, because now all of a sudden you have to protect your brand and your name, because you're scared you're gonna get clowned by your homies and things like that. But what behooves me is that he said, I'm a 55-year-old man. If you are 55 years old, you should be motherfucking secure enough in who you are as an individual to where a little shit that people say won't bother you. And this all deals with toxic masculinity in a sense. And I empathize and sympathize with Shauna, because as a woman of trans experience in dating, it can be very difficult out there for women of trans experience to find that one, because of all of the stigma that comes with being trans, with dating someone who's trans. And it can be very difficult. And there's no doubt in my mind that there is some type of trauma there with him acting like this, because she's like just looking for something real, and he was like, nah, don't tell nobody. To me, when guys like that say don't tell nobody, and this is to women, period, all women, when they say don't tell nobody, it's because they have other things going on, or that they may still want to play the field. But when it comes to trans women, there is an insecurity there and a fear, which is understandable to a certain extent because of society. But now with more trans amorous, trans attracted men speaking out and coming up to bat with trans identity and trans love and all of that, and what it means to be trans amorous, and you actually liking trans women, we have people standing up speaking about it. And I feel that Benzino actually missed a chance to actually speak about what it means to love, what it means to be with a woman of trans experience. I really feel like he fumbled the ball, and that's on him. That's on him, because I really feel like he could have used that as a moment to say, hey, yes, I am trans amorous, I am trans attracted, so it's going to be some fallout. Oh, well. And he could have really been a piece to educate people. He would have been a hell of a lot better than Malik Yoba just riding the coat train. But this also goes to the fact that being trans, even being a femme in Hollywood and dating, has been an age-old kept secret, something that you have to hide. And I'm trying to understand in the year of our Lord 2022 why dating a trans person is looked down upon so bad now that you have more people more open and we're becoming more visible. Yes, it goes back to religious ideals, to an idea of what masculinity is and is not, and who and what is deemed acceptable. But in the same breath, don't say you riding for me, you gonna ride or die for me, but you can't admit to the public who you are. And for me, it's also the mind games that are being played, because I'm keeping you at a secret. I'm doing all the right things, but I'm keeping you a secret. Soon enough, a woman is going to get tired of being a secret. She's going to get tired of being just this compartmentalized space in your life. It doesn't work that way. And for me personally, looking at her experience, that's why I have really not dated or messed around with anyone that's DL. Anytime someone says that they're DL, not my cup of tea, because I don't know what you could do to me because you are DL. And I look at it more so as safety reasons as well, protecting self-preservation. And that's one of the things this concerned me about when it first came out with Shauna. I'm concerned about her safety. Yes, she's up there. She's more famous than I am, but she's still a woman of trans experience. Now, there's no doubt she may have security and all of that. But what about those of us that are not as fortunate to have those things? And also, it's still a safety thing for other women of trans experience in these situations. And I can imagine Benzino wanted to protect his reputation and wanted to protect his brand. But honestly, listening to the conversation that he had, he's saying all of these things, which to me, they're just words at this point. And he's like, well, I'm a 55-year-old man, but you're still not securing who the fuck you are. If you really love this woman, you'll be like, look, fuck it. We're together. We're an item. If people don't like it, tough cookies. But it didn't work that way. So it's like, yo, what are you doing? Like, for real, you're running my name. But Benzino, have you ever considered the pain, the harm, and the trauma that you're causing Shauna? Have you really sat and thought about that? And to my trans amorous men that play these type of games, I want you to think about it before you interact with a trans woman or a woman of trans experience. And ladies, I want y'all to think about this too. Anytime someone is saying, don't tell nobody, I'm not ready yet, and you've been going steady for a minute, think about this. Is this really what you want? Are you really allowing yourself to settle for someone who can't even admit their truth? Like, if you can't admit the truth, why bother me? If you're gonna date now, men, if you're gonna date women such as Sydney Starr or Shauna Brooks, or a woman who is at the forefront in lights, and you're scared to come out as your true self, baby, then that is not the woman for you. She has too much power in her hands for you. And for me, I feel like at this point, it's all out there, and it's all about damage control at this point. It's all about saving face with Benzino. And I can only imagine the comments that people on social media, people all over the place are making about her, saying, oh, she did this to get back at him for something because he wouldn't fuck her and stuff like that. No. From experience, men play these games. And not only does it speak about transness and transamory and the nuances of that, but let's talk about the daily excuse that men treat women like this. Men treat women like this on a regular basis. We have women out there that may be dating someone, but because they want to play the field, or they may have a little nest somewhere else, a lot of times people will play on her emotions and her vulnerabilities and say, nah, not yet. Let me get some things together first. Or it could just be that they still want to have their fun, but just be upfront and state what it is. If you just want sex, say you want sex. If you want to build a relationship, but don't build it with me in secret and have me being your dirty little secret. There is a difference between hiding a relationship and having a private relationship. Private relationship is where, yeah, people know y'all together, but they don't know your business. Hiding a relationship means that this person don't exist. And to me, this is like erasing the trans experience in a sense, erasing possibilities of trans love, erasing possibilities that a cis man and a trans woman can really have something, which we've seen this, maybe not in mainstream media. Well, we have seen it in mainstream media with Janet Mock and her Pose co-star. So we see all of this happening, but when it comes out, especially the Black community, discussing transness and love, living, is something that is technically unheard of. It's frowned upon, and for this to be made public, I'm glad that it's starting a conversation. But I hate that it's at the emotional expense of a beautiful woman. And with that, it's like, why even bother if you can't be the real man that you are? Because to me, Benzino is not a real man. You're clowning Coi Leray on her album sales. You're horrible to women, period. And you're just overall trash. But also, for me, as for me and my house, we can't do that. It's so many nuances. But the fact that it's like a game to him, and he's like, well, what about me? What about me? Benzino, you're already showing that you're a selfish prick. You've already shown that. And it's selfish. It is very selfish. And I love my sister Brianna Jenkins over at the Girl Down podcast, y'all. I'm going to include all her information below. I admire her. I love the things that she does and she says about being free as a Black trans woman. And I love how through her teaching, she allowed me to be able to find my voice and say, no, UDL, okay, that has nothing to do with me. You hiding the fact that you're trans amorous or trans attracted has everything to do with you and your insecurity. Do not bring your insecurity into my place of security, into my place of firmness, into my foundation of I love who I am. But I give props to Shauna for stating that, for putting it out there, and not a way to out, but saying, look, this is what I'm going through in the, I guess, relationship. What is this situation? And I'm not going to take this anymore. And ladies, you shouldn't. I don't care what type of woman you are. You do not deserve to be someone's secret. No one should be someone's dirty little secret. That role hurts. It gets tiresome. It gets lonely. It's dumb, because I think about it like this. Going back to when many of us came out as queer, many of us came out as trans, we were held as a dirty little secret from our families. We were held as a dirty little secret in society for so long. We're looked down upon, but now because we're more visible and people are getting education and it's out there now, for me, there's no excuse for this behavior. And again, now I'm not the type of girl to out anybody. I don't believe that. But if something is causing me harm, if something is making me doubt myself, not saying this is going on with Shauna, but if something is not what I need it to be, I'm going to speak out and I'm going to nip it in the bud. And I applaud her for doing, and I'm glad that it came out. I hate the circumstances. And I'm going to watch this closely, because with most media things, it blows over, you know, but there are going to be repercussions for Benzino. And in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I want to see how it affects Shauna Brooks' career as well. Because as someone who's trans and who has been blackballed because of my transness, I fear that people are going to try to snatch opportunities, which they better not. Because I want Shauna to fight, kick, and scream. And just like earlier in the year, or the tail end of last year, whenever it happened, when the rumors about Sydney Starr and Darius McCrary began to surface, I have a question to my cis people, to my cishet people. What is the issue, particularly, and I'm not saying this to be nasty, my black cis women? What is the issue with black trans women being able to find love and be in peace? What's wrong with queer people finding love and you not having something to say about it, or you not having to make a joke? But also, there is another nuance in this as well, because a lot of people think if a man deals with a woman of trans experience that he's gay. That does not make him gay. It makes him a human being. Trans women are women, period. So if a straight man sees a trans woman and he's attracted to her, regardless of what surgery she's had or not had, he's still straight, in my opinion, at the end of the day. Now, however he identifies, that's on him. It's however he identifies. That is not the woman's weight. And I feel like with trans women, when it comes down to men being trans amorous, we often have to take the fall. We have to take the weight for someone else's attractions. Why are we taking the weight for what this man is attracted to? We can't help because he's attracted to us. We can't help because men are attracted to us. And it goes back to the idea that we're tricking people. No, we're not tricking people. When we are sought out by individuals, they already know who and what we are. We're not tricking anybody. So the fact that people are saying, well, she wrong for that. No, you need to look at your boy, Benzino, because he's the one that is hailing this relationship and keeping her a secret. She just wants to be recognized and respected as the beautiful goddess that she is. So him being trans attracted and has a problem with people knowing and fearing that it's going to fuck up his brand, that's on him. That's not on her. And this is the thing with society, period, with women. Men in society, fuck this patriarchal society, they always want to place the blame on women for their bad behavior or for their piss poor decisions, when it's always them all along. A lot of times women are casualties of the bullshit. And this is what we're seeing here. We're seeing Benzino trying to put the weight of his attraction on Shauna when that has nothing to do with her. That has everything to do with you, sir. Own up to your feelings. Own up to your weight. Stop placing the weight on other people. And also, I feel like how he's acting is an attempt to spin the narrative as if she's to blame for all of this when it's really him. And again, this is why I tell people I don't fuck with the trade. I don't care if it's just sex. I don't fuck with the trade. I got plenty of toys and batteries to satisfy myself. And one thing I'm grateful for in this season of my life, and we're going to talk about this in another episode, dating is not an option at this point because I want to make sure I'm grounded in me. So I send my prayers and thoughts out to Shauna and Benzino. I pray that Benzino finds out who he is. At 55, you're damn near 60. And Shauna, you're a beautiful, young, bright woman. You can do much better. And there I've said it. These are just my thoughts. So if you want to reach out to me, y'all email me at talk2priestess. That's talk2priestess@gmail.com. Share with your thoughts. Don't forget to hit up the Facebook group and the Facebook page. Y'all live, love, and be free. Smooches.